So there's less. There we go. We're live. We're ready. Hello.
Hiya.
Hey everyone. Thanks for joining us.
On this hot day.
It is hot. It's getting very hot in this country at the moment.
It is. I love it.
We were just discussing. I hate it. Jodie loves it.
I love it. He loves the cold.
Yeah, and you like the hot. That's why you're so tan, though. You've just been like laying in it.
Well, I was
all day.
teaching this morning in the garden, having a lovely old time, singing lessons. I'm sure my neighbours love me.
Oh yeah. It's an occupational hazard. You've got to do
it was great. I was like multitasking, tanning, and teaching singing.
I hope you put Facts 50 on.
I did.
Not 50, did you?
Maybe a song is 50.
Okay, yeah, guys, wear SPF. Anyway, I should probably introduce it. Welcome to Voicebites, by the way. Apart from the intro video, this is the very first video. It's the first live stream, and we have the pleasure of being joined by Jodie Steele.
Hello.
Hey, Jodie. Thanks for coming on here today.
My absolute pleasure. I feel thrilled I'm the first one.
Yeah, it's great. Jodie is an amazing West End actress, performer. What do you prefer, actress, performer? What, do they mean the same thing?
Actress, I think.
Actress.
Yeah.
Okay, West End actress. You've done loads. You've done everything.
Yeah, I've been a very lucky girl. I've had a pretty crazy career for the 7 years that I've been doing it professionally. Yeah. It's been very fast, and yeah, I've had a blast, and hopefully it's just going to continue on.
I'm sure it will.
After the pandemic.
It will. Please. So if anyone's watching and can give Jodie a job, please do. So when that was 7 years ago that you left drama school, did you train? Or?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. I trained at Guildford School of Acting on the BA Honours Musical Theatre degree. Mm-hmm. It is a degree, guys. I had to do, a whole 10,000 word essay and everything.
Oh wow! Just the one. It wasn't just pirouettes in a studio. No. But yeah, it was insane training. And I was so lucky. I kind of went straight into work from there. Yeah. My first job was Mimi and Ren. Mm-hmm. Then Ivy and Bear, and it just kind of went on this. It was like a rolling ball. Yeah. Did you find that you were one of the few from your year groups that got lots of work?
At first, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was all very immediate. I was the first person to sign an agent in my year, acting agent. Yeah. Which kind of came out of the blue. I remember we did Edwin Drood as our first showcase. And I woke up the next day to agent emails, and I was like, oh my God. And none of my friends
oh no, that's
had them know that. Yeah, really happy for you. But then everyone got them eventually. Yeah. So that did mean that I was kind of out there auditioning way before I came to the end of third year. Wow. So I was really lucky. But I worked solidly, and still do now. You can't just graduate and be like, no, cool, wait for that phone to ring.
Exactly.
You've still got so much to learn.
Got to put the effort in. Yeah. I auditioned for GSA years ago for the acting course, just straight acting. They told me I looked like I had weak legs. And I was like, okay.
But why do you need that?
I don't know. It was after my monologues, and I was wearing trackies. I don't
particularly feel like you look like.
No, well, I think it's because I was wearing now skinny trackies are really popular. Back then,
it was the
baggy ones, and I think they were just like, you can't see your legs; they look really weak. I was like, but what about the monologue? Did you enjoy that?
You did go to drama school though, right?
Yeah, I went to RADA, but I did... No. People say that, but I did the year course. I did a foundation
Still though, that is amazing.
It was really good. But
it's one of the most prestigious schools. How was that experience?
It was good. It was really intense, and I really like intense. And it was a bit like...
I can imagine
crazy.
And they've only got a year to squeeze it.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to go on to do 3 years. So I auditioned for loads of different schools. Got to the final round of Lambda and Guildhall, but then for 2 years running, and both years didn't get it. So I was like, I'm giving up. I'm giving up drama school.
Oh, no.
And I just decided to focus on what was working, which was voiceovers and YouTube.
So that's how it kind of crossed over. But they're still performing.
Yeah, there's a performance
We're really
element.
Performing right now.
Yeah, exactly. We actually hate each other. We've just been arguing on camera.
We've just been thrown in the room. We're just pretending that.
Yeah.
But voiceover especially is performing. It really is. It's a performing art form, I think, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. I think people take it for granted because it's just the voice. But that's the thing, they say just, but it's actually a huge deal. When did you get into voiceovers?
Not that long ago at all. It was last year. Please let it be last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year. Am I right? So I'd always wanted to get into it. And I'd asked a lot of my friends who had voiceover agents. They said, it's actually harder to kind of get a voiceover agent they're really specific. It's a specific skill. It's something that they look for in a voice that you don't know what it is, but it's not just any old person can walk into a room and be like, oh, I'm going to be a voiceover artist. So I was like, okay. So I was kind of a bit nervous to do it at first, especially when I graduated, because I was just finding my feet in the industry and was, quite busy getting roles and being on ensembles, and I've done it all, ensemble, standby, cover, so I was kind of finding my feet there. And I think about 3 years ago I looked into it, but I got a bit too scared. I was like, no, I just don't think I'm ready yet. And then it was whilst I was in Heathers, my friend Chris Chung, who was talking to me about it one day. I was like, right, that's it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. So I looked into it, and I knew that the best way from my friends was to get a really good, solid voice reel demo, so that people can hear your voice. You can't just be on your phone like, hi, giving it the M&S advert, like it's not just pastry, it's M&S pastry. Just whack that in an email and be like, who wants to sign me? So I knew, you have to put in, and then what you put in, you get that. So I was like, right, okay, I'm going to go and find a company that I can get a solid voice reel with, and who kind of guide you, give you consultations before you do it. And I found Crying Out Loud Productions. And I literally got taught in consultation meetings what my voice was like, what I should use. I had to prep stuff. It was a full project. Like, it was amazing. I learned so much. I learned about my voice and how I had a weak R. And then I remember going home to my mum and being like, whenever I use my teeth on my bottom lip to say an R, tell me off. Like rabbit. I have to now say rabbit. She was like, what? Okay. I was like, learning all these things about my voice with this incredible lady called Marina. She sat in this room, and I just remember leaving the room like, oh, I have just learned so much about myself and about what I need to progress to be a voiceover artist. And then it got to my demo day, and I had all my pieces, various adverts, a narrative, stories, different accents that I was using. And I was just finished like, who knew talking could be? I know. And I talk, as you can probably tell, a lot. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I'm in studios all the time for singing and stuff. But I was so nervous just to talk. There's so many techniques to talking.
Well, particularly because then you can hear yourself. Well, you've got the headphones on as well. You can sort of hear yourself.
And you're like criticizing yourself as you go. You're like, no, that's terrible. But certain pronouns that you should stress and not stress, and never stress the pronoun. And places where you put accents, or you should put a breath here, or and you worry. When I do demos, like I'm like, oh no, they can hear me breathing. So then I end up doing a demo, I'm like really out of breath, and like desperately trying to take a silent breath.
Do you find when you take a sip of water as well, you lean away from the microphone and swallow, because you're like, I don't want it, like you hear my swallowing noise,
or like any of that.
Clearing your throat, it's so horrible.
But so my demo day, I remember it just being a huge big day in my life. And then when I got it sent through, I was absolutely buzzing with it, thrilled. Like, they edited it with like music in the background and how it rolled into. I also did an animation reel.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah. So I wrote it, and I thought, this lady's gonna think this is, what the hell is this? So she closed her eyes and listened to me do my animation reel. And she was like, it's brilliant. I was like, oh my god. So I added that onto my kind of package. It's great. So I've got like Jodie and all my crazy cartoon voices.
That's cool. Because I was going to ask you, is that what made you want to do voiceovers? Is it the fact that you are good at doing accents and different voices? Because it is a weird thing to be like, I want to be a voiceover artist.
Yeah, I think it was. It's always adverts. Ever since I was young, I've loved doing advert voices. Okay. Like blah.com, like that kind of thing, that kind of rhythm that they have. And I thought, I really could do that. And I used to play around with it. And cartoon voices. I'm trying to avoid it, but I do cartoon voices.
Well, you can do one now if you like. We're all waiting.
Well, for instance, like for anyone who's on here who's kind of watched me in Heathers, the whole Heather Chandler voice, it's like that really kind of posh American, like Heather, bend over. So, you can kind of use that kind of thing. Oh, there's like the kind of scratchy American kind of thing that you can go down. It's like totally cool.
That's so good.
And just playing around. like northern as well, like that kind of thing, like northern, that kind of thing. Or like the Cockney hairdresser, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, what are you having today, love? We're just having a chop, we have a bit of colour. So I just kind of love
that voice really suits you.
Well,
you just slotted straight into that without even a beat. You just went into it.
So yeah, that kind of thing. So I really did, when I saw that the option was there to kind of do an animation reel, I was like, brilliant. And then I did, I got stuck in and wrote it myself. So you can really be creative with voiceovers.
Definitely.
But yeah, and then, finding your own voice with voiceovers is a big thing as well. I think the hard thing to avoid is putting on a voice when a client actually just wants your voice. You almost feel like you have to switch something on. But actually they just want how you talk. It's like, oh, really? So that's a big difference between being, a stage actress where you very rarely get to do your own voice to then just bringing that to the table.
Well, did you find that hard to go from because with voiceovers, very rarely will you need to project your voice ever. Whereas on a West End stage, you've got to be good at that.
Yeah.
So did you find that was hard to navigate?
Actually, I think I was, because I've done quite a lot of studio work with singing sessions and stuff like that. And I was creating an EP once upon a time, but then I got wicked and it came to a dramatic end. It was quite sad. I need to redo that. And I was kind of prepared that I knew from many years of being told you are singing way too loud. Sorry. To kind of tone it down. It's just a very delicate process. I think it's so, especially voiceover booths, they're normally very enclosed.
Yeah, it sort of lends itself to being a bit quieter.
Yeah, I remember when I went in there for my demo, I was like, oh, this is really intense. But yeah, so it is very different. Yeah. But I think having the theatre training and the drama school training and the experience from all the shows has taught me how to manage my voice both safely and with technique, and being able to use a range of different textures has really helped with the voiceover. And I think I really began my voiceover journey at the right time. I had enough experience behind me to kind of know how to use my voice. Definitely. I wasn't ready before then, for sure.
I think it's important, not, like you said, to wait for the right time and not just jump straight in. Because voiceover agents, especially if you're looking for one, they get inundated with so many, and you don't want to screw up your one shot to get your reel listened to. So if it's below par.
I remember then when I received my demo, I was like, okay, write the email.
Where to start?
And when you're like, I've got to keep it sweet and simple. I haven't said enough. And I remember sitting in a cafe in Eastbourne, of all places. Lovely place. On the Rock of, was it the Rock of Ages tour? Yeah, it must have been. And writing my email, and I was like, oh God. And I did loads of research into different agencies, and Damn Good Voices came up. And I looked on their website and I was like, oh my God, they had, some women on there that like my idols, different alphabets. They've got loads of alphabets. It's the and I was like, oh, maybe this is the one for me, because they worked with previous people who've come from theatre and become voiceover artists. So I wrote off to them and they came through.
So good.
Yeah.
That's good. They took 4 months to get back to me. This is awkward because my agent's behind the camera, but literally I was like, oh, they weren't interested then. And then 4 months later, they invited me to a meeting. It was great. So there's always hope, but hold on. They could get an email.
And did you do a demo and everything like that as well?
I did, yeah. I actually got a weird, lucky little break, if you can call it that. I was an extra on a show called The Royals.
On a show called The Royals, just casual.
Yeah, on a show called, I was literally an extra. I was literally holding a door open for Elizabeth Hurley to walk through.
Love it.
And then one of the producers, the director was like, can you come over here? And I was like, who are you talking to? Because they'd obviously heard me talking with my friends, and they're like, can you just read the script into this mic? And I was like, okay. So just read it, and it was a promo, like, tune into The Royals at this time, blah, 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 blah. And I thought nothing more of it. And then I went back to my proper day job, which was like ushering at a theatre, and got a call from a producer in LA being like, hey, do you remember you were on The Royals and wanted you to voice the demo? Like, we're going to book you through your extras agent. Like, can you come into the studio? So that was my first taste of it. Had no experience whatsoever. And after that, I was like, right, I need to get a demo, a reel done. I know. It's my only cool story of my life.
Got a casual thing.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, this is weird. I need to be in there doing my job, but sorry, producer called from LA. Sorry. Yeah, it was very cool. But
epic, amazing.
Yeah. But I want to talk about lockdown. How have you found lockdown with your job as an actress or a voiceover artist? How's it changed?
I think I feel really blessed to be a voiceover artist right now because the demos have kept coming because it's something that you can do at home. So I actually invested in a home mic because I thought, well, why not? And it's coming really useful for an abundance of new songs that have been being in a lockdown and you've got time. Can you just record? And I've been like, absolutely, give me that to keep creative. So the voiceover industry, I think, is one of those lucky industries in the performing arts world that has been able to keep going. So that's pretty amazing. There's loads of new adverts popping up, that people have been filming at home, but the voiceover is clear as day. It can be done at home. It can be done in studios that are social distance, so that's been pretty cool. Performing wise, well, my teddy bears have been getting a full-fledged performance most nights.
See, that's worth a lot of money.
No, it's it has been hard. I was in a small musical called Six. Don't know if any of you have heard of it.
Tiny. I don't think anyone's heard of it.
No, it's not very well known. But that was what I was in when lockdown hit, playing Catherine Howard.
Really? Were you halfway through or something?
Yeah, I started in September and we were due to finish in July. So it kind of got cut short, and it was right in that point of contract where you just sat in your part and you were really comfortable with it, and then bam. But the whole industry is in the same boat. So we've just got to club together.
It's so annoying. In the UK, especially, that I've seen that they're going to reopen cinemas soon, and I'm like, how is that any different to theatre?
I know. So I think it's just impossible, isn't it, to social distance? I think just cost for producers and everything like that. True. They need to be selling those houses, whereas cinemas these days, you go in and there's Fred and you. Just watching. It's huge. But it has been quite frustrating, I think. Not just for the performers, but for all the fans who are just so desperate. But I think it's just patience and knowing that right now the most important thing is people's health and safety and the two distance.
Yeah, there we go.
Distance.
Safe distance.
Which we're killing here. But I do miss it. But I've been keeping really busy teaching, and I've actually started working as a carer.
Have you?
Yeah.
Amazing. Tell me about that then. Have you done that before?
Never, and I never thought that I would do anything like that. But when it happened, when lockdown happened, I think I didn't sit at home because I can't do that. Even watching TV, I struggle with. I have to be on Duolingo at the same time.
Trying to do something productive.
And I just thought, I have to do something to help. So I applied for all the NHS volunteer work, but there was nothing in my area. And if I'd been travelling into London, that's kind of counterproductive. Do you know what I mean? So then I'm sitting on a train. And then I thought, wow, there are lots of private care businesses, and I applied for loads of them. And then an incredible company called McIntyre came through and offered me a position looking after two incredible ladies who have learning disabilities, and it has changed my life. I mean, there was literally honestly, and it has been extremely challenging, and sometimes I take it home with me and take things personally. But I've learned so much about how people live with learning disabilities, how incredibly happy they are, and how ignorant I have been as someone who always thinks, oh, they must have a really hard life. Actually, how dare I? I don't know anything about that person. And so they get 24/7 care, so I'm with them sometimes for 32-hour shifts.
Wow.
That's
incredible. Considering as well you've not had training in that way.
No, they fast track the training.
Oh, do they?
So coronavirus got pretty mental, and people who they look after who would normally spend a lot of time with their families obviously couldn't anymore and had to be housebound. So the hours of the carers had to go up. So they fast tracked a few of us who were carefully selected. And they just so happened to pair me with two ladies who are obsessed with musicals.
Really? I was going to say, are they aware of the fact they've got a West End superstar with them?
I turned up on the first day and one of them was wearing a Wicked t-shirt, and I was like, well, this is going to go really well.
Yeah, that's so good. So are you singing? I was going to say at them. It wouldn't be at them because they love it.
So sometimes with one of them, I play the piano and she sings along, and I've taught them the whole choreography to Six, from Six.
That's so good.
We had hair brushes and everything as our mics.
That's an upgrade from the teddy bears.
Yeah, I know.
Real
I really kind of, but it's kind of been a saviour for me, because I've been able to use my skill set and, you know, sing at them.
Yeah.
You are right. I do sing at them. You will listen to me.
You have no choice. Listen to me.
And we do script work. So whenever I get, you know, a tape through from my agent, there are still some happening. I'll get a script through and I'll take it on my caring shift and I'll do it with them. And now that I'm learning my script, is, you know, they read all the other parts and they absolutely love it. They're like, can you teach me an American accent and all sorts of things? So yeah, good. It has been amazing. And, you know, I've learned a lot about myself and how patient I can actually be as a person.
That's so good. It's so good that you've done that, because so many people like myself didn't even think about that. It's awful. I was just like, oh, lockdowns happen. Cool, that's it. But you actively done something good.
Yeah, but honestly, I think for me, I struggled to be at home anyway, so I knew I was gonna have to do something. Or my poor boyfriend would have been
leave me alone.
Yeah, it worked, you crazy woman.
But you don't have experience then in like the care world, but you do in teaching.
Yeah.
So are you taking the same skills from that?
Yeah. So I actually run a company called JSA. I named it after myself.
Of course.
Jodie Steele Associates. And you can find us online. Just type in Jodie Steele Associates. But yeah, I hold West End workshops, masterclasses, vocal masterclasses with not just myself, but loads of different people in the West End and UK tours. And we have an associate program, so people can, you know, become an associate, and we kind of nurture them in their training. We have an elite squad that we're putting together. That will have a showcase every year at the other palace, so we can put them in front of industry professionals. And I hold one-to-one classes and teach singing lessons, repertoire, acting through songs. So that has kept me extremely busy. Yeah.
How on earth have you done all those things?
I haven't slept all of lockdown. I actually don't think I've had a single day off, like 24 hours since lockdown done. But I love it that way.
Yeah. Well, you seem to thrive on it, because you don't look like tired or anything.
It's good lighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've managed to be busy. But I mean, he's saying this, but I've been on your Instagram page. I've seen you doing your home workouts and your baking. He was actually just telling me that there's a really cool way to make dough balls with yogurt and flour.
Honestly, guys, Greek yogurt, self-raising flour, put them in the oven. They're amazing. You wouldn't know it's
so you've been doing cool things like that, though, whereas I haven't actually had the time.
No, but you're literally helping the next generation. You're helping people that needs help. I'm just baking for myself, and it's no, I've kept busy. There's been lots going on, but not as much as that. So I think I get stressed out quite easily. I think my threshold for stress is like here.
Oh, no, I do.
Yours seems to be up here.
No, it is. I just kind of go through it. Like, that's kind of how I get the energy to like finish a workshop. I've got 15 minutes to get in the shower, make some food.
Oh, wow. But have you had any last minute voiceover demos? Like where you're like, I've got all this going on and I need to sort of quickly like grab my mic and record something?
Yeah, there was one that actually springs to mind. It was a demo, but I also ended up getting the job, and it was for a pharmaceutical company. I know that Simon and Chris are in the back right now laughing, because it got sent through the day before.
Surely that's long words. And...
Oh my gosh! I had to research what the word meant, so that I was actually saying it in the correct way, and B, how to pronounce it. And then when I got to the studio the next day, we didn't have anyone who was, from the medicine profession there. So we had to keep calling like nurses and things like that. But I had done so much research. I was on it, and they were like, so this word, and they were like, I don't know how it's pronounced. I was like, oh, I do. I do.
I've learned it all.
Yeah, and I did it in such a short amount of time. I just really worked hard that night to kind of get it done. But I remember going in that day like, I've got this, but
get it right.
Big words. But I was so thrilled after I rang Simon. I was like, absolutely smashed it, like did it in less time. I knew all the words, I knew what they meant. But so that came through like the night before, the words, and I just remember putting it off and being like, right.
It's like worse than Shakespeare. Like literally got to make sense of it.
Like fringed about And
I know
it's
exactly
caused by mix on a freight icing. But it was but I nailed that. I was really tough.
Well done.
Have you had any where you've been like, oh Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've had a few, not medical terms. I think that would be really tough. I've done lots of like computery, robotics, science, technology type things. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm saying. Like, put the flipboard onto the thingy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. But you make it work.
Yeah, you do. I think as long as you do the groundwork, then you're all right going in, but you do have to prep. You can't just go in like, just go for it.
Yeah.
But I've also had some, because often I think sometimes people are like, really, from my animation reel, they're probably like, I wasn't expecting you to look like that. And I've recently got, last year, I got a huge job on a new video game, but I can't say what it is or what I'm doing.
I hate when people do that. They're like, I've got a special announcement, but I can't say about it.
So I remember getting the phone call and I was like, oh my God. And I hadn't been signed to Down With Voices for very long. And I was like, this must be a big deal because you're calling. And normally you just email. So I was like, oh my God. And then I got cast as a character that you probably wouldn't think that I would do.
Okay.
And I remember turning up to the studio on the day and then being like, oh. And I was like, listen, get me in that mocap gear.
Don't judge.
So it's motion cap as well.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, but
is that easier or harder? Because you're in your body, I suppose. So acting wise, you'd think it'd be easier.
I think maybe because, and probably for you as well, because you trained as an actor, I found it quite useful.
Yeah.
And I think actually sometimes, even being in the booth when I'm not doing motion cap, I gesture anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was quite a cool one.
That's really cool. Yeah. Oh well, we'll have to wait and see what that is. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Right. So we've got a question here from Juliet McKenna, which says, what do you do differently with your voice when voice acting as opposed to regular stage acting? And what's the hardest accent you've had to learn?
Oh gosh. Okay. So stage acting, very projected and often very heightened.
Okay.
And I think you have to over enunciate some diction. Whereas if you're doing a voiceover and they've asked for your kind of own accent, you can let T slip or, just say it how I would say it. I'm actually really speaking quite well at the moment, but normally I'll be like, all right, darling, like this kind of thing. So it's remarkably different actually. But the techniques that you have for stage do come in handy with taking care of your voice and not pushing. Say you might have to scream in something and you know how to do that safely. So there are things where it crosses over. Hard accents. The Irish I always find quite hard, and I had to go into a final for the Commitments, which I actually got, but I didn't take. Sorry. It was because I got Wicked at the same time. Hard toss up, but I did Wicked. And I remember the casting director coming out and going, okay, so I've told the director that you're Irish. And I was like, what?
Oh, no.
What do you mean? It's like, I've told the director that you're Irish, so if you could just come in and be Irish. So I went in like, hello, how are you doing today? That
was so much pressure.
But I was really northern, and he was like, I don't think you're Southern Irish. I was like, Dublin, hello. Went like really manly. I do find Irish quite hard because they're just so different. Yeah. And I think people just, top and morning to you, like, no, that's not how they sound. Scottish as well. I have to do a Scottish accent. I'm terrible at Scottish accent.
But are you good at learning them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because GSA were very good with phonetics. Okay. So we had actual phonetic lessons.
Yeah.
And that has come in very, very handy.
Okay.
So often I'm like, do you have that in a phonetic write-out?
Sorry, I speak full phonetic.
Yeah, I think copying, listening and copying has been quite useful. What about you?
Oh, me, I don't do anything.
You don't do accents?
I don't really. I can do accents. Australian's my favourite.
Oh, okay.
What?
Say something in Australian.
Oh no, why? Are you going to criticise me? Can you do it? I love doing an Australian accent. Oh my God. Maybe we just do the whole thing. Yeah, that'd be great. I love
the rest of the interview.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's pretty hot outside, so we basically are in Australia right now.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, every Aussie right now is cringing. That's not my accent. But yeah, accents aren't my forte, but I want to learn. So.
You're very good Australian. We have another question from Nicholas in Helsinki. As a youngster, was it as easy to access the stars of stage and screen, or has the internet really helped open more options? Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone's on social media nowadays, which at the very least makes sure that you can relate to them a lot more.
Yeah.
Even if you can't necessarily message them directly, which most of the time you can.
And I just think, you know, when I was younger and had like musical theatre stars that I love watching, there was no way I could have gotten like an online workshop with them during a pandemic lockdown.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I probably didn't know
or a personalised video.
Yeah, Cameo.
Yeah, both on Cameo, guys. If you want to purchase a personalised video.
Not even a show. But you really can at the top of a button have a video from someone super famous. I swear, like, isn't Justin Timberlake on there or something?
I think so.
Like, as if.
It's crazy. I think it helped, and just having access, like after YouTubing your name. Like I knew who you were before, but then just seeing all of it. I said earlier when I first met Jodie, I was like, I did know who you were before, and she thought I said I didn't know who you were before. Imagine if I started a conversation like that. I didn't actually know who you were, but but yeah, on YouTube, so many videos,
I know.
And so that alone is amazing.
And Instagram lives as well.
Yeah,
it's insane how many huge celebrities come onto Instagram live, and also how many celebs are offering up, you know, their skill set to teach, or huge musical theatre stars. Like Alice Fern is doing, you know, one-to-ones, and I know Alice, but I'm like really tempted just to do one-to-ones. Be like, teach me how to be you. And Rachel Tucker as well, you know, another incredible friend of mine. But I'm like, you know, you can just, you know, incredible that you couldn't do that when I was young.
No,
for sure. You just got to watch things. Easier. Okay, so there's a question for Joel from Johnny in Basingstoke, which is where I'm from.
Oh, wow.
Have you had new inspiration for online content during lockdown, and is there anything you can talk about yet?
Lockdown's been really hard because my main job, obviously voiceovers, I do as and when they come up, but YouTube is sort of my constant. So then when life gets shut down, there's nothing really to vlog about. And you're like, well, I'm normally out and about doing things.
Yeah.
So I went through a period of not having any inspiration for anything. And then I feel like I've gotten into it, and I'm now getting ideas for things. And particularly my main channel with my best friend, where we go traveling, particularly around America. And now I've started another channel where we do the UK, sort of planning our UK trips and things like that, and US trips. And we've just got a whole load of new ideas and new inspiration, I think. And we've had time to sit and think about it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is
you get into a rhythm, don't you, of like, oh, we're just doing the same old thing. Whereas now we've had time to think about it and reassess. And
so a refresh button.
Yeah, no, it's good. But I think,
you should do one on the doughballs.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for that.
So. Yeah, well, I did start a baking series, and some people loved it. And then I just started eating it all, and I was like, I really am trying to get in shape here, and I'm just eating everything that I'm baking, so it didn't really fit with my lifestyle.
I think that's perfect, though. Yeah. Why else would you bake?
I know.
I've only baked one thing this whole lockdown. It was banana bread, and I stuck chocolate buttons over the top of it.
That's
but
so
it
good.
burned.
Oh, what, the chocolate?
Well, the whole top. But I must have gone wrong, because isn't banana bread like the easiest thing to make?
Yeah.
It was really kind of undercooked in the middle and super burnt.
Oh, yeah. Got to maybe turn the oven down a bit.
Yeah, okay.
No, but everyone's been making banana bread. That's where every single person
has. And cupcakes.
Cupcakes, I love that.
Victoria sponge.
Yeah. The classics. All the classics. Right, we've got one from, is it Salil? Salil says, can you do some vocal warm-ups now? Right, hand over to the professional.
There's a great one, which you probably would be like, surely not, but if we're going to go intense technique here, croaking.
Okay, interesting.
So now it shouldn't hurt and it shouldn't take any effort, and you really shouldn't have to think about it. But if you know the movie The Grudge, then it's the sound that she makes, and that should go into and you just fall off of it, and then you carry on going up a scale, say and you'd be like, what the hell is this lady doing? But I promise you, so when you croak like that, your vocal cords naturally just do a nice vibration without causing any pushing or anything. But a lot of people can't make that sound. So Can you make that sound, Joe?
Let me try. My agent's going to ditch me if I can't do it.
There we go. Yeah, but it doesn't hurt, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
I actually did my dissertation on creaky voice. At university. I went to university after drama school.
Yeah.
And, like Kardashians do it all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's like there you go. Great vocal technique there.
There you are. This is from Simon in London, who says, "Is that water in your glasses or G&T?"
You will never know.
No, it's actually straight vodka. But I've run out. I've gone through that. Right, this is for Jodie. This is from Sophie in London, who says, "What's your favourite lyric from Six?" This is a good one. I love the soundtrack from Six. I've never seen it, but I listen to the soundtrack all the time.
I have many, but it is not in All You Want to Do, which is my song. It's actually in Get Down, and it's Release the Bitches. Woof.
That's so good.
I get to say
woof.
Like you bring the mic up, it's like.
I've got a question about House of Holbein. Obviously, I've never seen it.
House of Holbein.
Is that so fun to do?
It's so fun and so hard.
Is it?
It's the one number where you're like, okay, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get the energy out.
Yeah. And by the end, you're like, oh God. I mean, Six in general is just super hard, like incredible, but you know, it's like being an athlete. But House of Holbein. We actually had a 2-hour lesson on German accents.
Really? I love it. It's so good. This is for Jodie from Jenna in London, who says, "Is there a role that you've always wanted to play but not had the chance to yet? And if so, who and which show?"
Yeah, so I've actually been in the show.
Okay.
And played a part in it. So my dream role is Glinda in Wicked.
Because you've done Elphaba.
And actually, when I went in, I brought Glitter and Bouquet, which is, if you don't know, it is a like very high soprano song.
Yeah.
And they kind of went, "No, have you got anything more belty?" And I was like, uh-oh. And I kind of got through, and then I remember the next round was Defying Gravity, and I was like, nope, there's no way, I'm not going in. I can't do it.
No.
But I did, and you know, there I was a few months later, green.
So
and
good.
I actually would love to play Alphabet again.
Okay.
Because I think my voice has matured, and I've got more depth to it. But I'm desperate to play Glinda. I mean, Alphabet is a dream come true, and I must do it again one day. But I would really like it if Wicked could just do a special contract for me where I play Glinda one night, Alphabet the next, Glinda.
That's so good. Have they ever done that, or they don't?
No, but I'd love them to.
You don't even need a wig.
I know. Well, in rehearsals, Petra, the director, was always like, and then Glinda, and I was like, no, Petra, Alphabet. She's, oh, you just look like a Glinda. But it's also Molly in Ghost.
Okay, I've never seen Ghost, so I don't really know anything
listen to the
about it.
soundtrack. But she came out in these dungarees with this curly blonde hair, and white sneakers, and I was like, and With You is one of my most favourite music theatre songs. So also,
well, there we go. Well, hopefully you might get something after this. Jodie, what did you love most about playing Elphaba? Yeah, so while we're on the subject of Wicked.
Do you know, there's a cute story. Actually, I really do. Please don't let me get this wrong. Tell me. But it's Kerry Ellis with Damn Good Voices. So if she watches this, she's going to be like, "Low." When I was 17, I went to see Wicked, and that was when it solidified for me that I wanted to become an actress, a musical theatre actress, and a TV actress. And I remember watching her and just being like, "Oh my God!" And there was one moment. It's a No Good Deed where she runs towards the front of the stage and just sings Fierro.
Yeah.
At the top of her voice. And I just remember, I literally could relive the moment in my head. Yeah. My hair's going back on the back of my neck, just being like, this woman is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So then I was a huge fangirl of Kerry Ellis for many years. And then in my first ever fitting for Elphaba, no, not my first ever, my last fitting, I finally got my Wicked Witch dress. And some costumes they make brand new for you, and some they kind of alter, because hell, they're expensive. And they put it on me, and they went, "Oh, this is Kerry Ellis's."
Wow, that's amazing. Did you cry?
Yeah, I started welling up and was like, "Oh my God!" Like she's the reason that I decided that I wanted to go to drama school, and there I was wearing her dress. So yeah, Elphaba was a huge milestone in my career, and I remember after my first ever show, one of the boys that I trained with at drama school was in the cast, and the curtains came down, and everyone was clapping, but he knew, and he stayed with me to the end, and he just hugged me, and I just cried. I just couldn't believe that. I'd only been out of drama school for 3 years, so I was just like, I still can't believe that I'd done it.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't believe that happened, and I was green, and I carried that suitcase.
That's a huge role to do, just 3 years out of drama school, surely.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't happen often.
And that's why I'd love to do it again, you know, just. And if someone gave me the choice, you know, you could either play Alphabet again or play Glinda, I actually do think it would be to do Alphabet again.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though Glinda's my dream role, it's just.
But probably the competitive nature in you as an actor, where you're like, you probably always feel like you can do more. I'm like that, where I'm just like, I can do better, even though someone's like, no, that's amazing. That's just what you wanted. Is it that you feel like you, or is it because your voice has changed, like you said? I think
because my voice, it's an extreme like vocal track. It's the endurance you have to have, and you know, there's doing it one night, that's fine. But 6 months into a contract like that, that's where you really find out what your vocal stamina is and how you have to adapt. Every week was different. Every week, my placement would be suddenly better in Defying Gravity one week, and I'd struggle with Wizard and I, or No Good Deed would be the one that week, and my wolf cry, But when I've spoken to past Alphabets, everyone says the same thing. It's just something about that show. And then there's other shows, you know, like Rock of Ages, which was a whole other, you know, new vocal journey for me, where I had to learn how to like rock scream and doing it safely. But yeah, Alphabet was just a dream come true, honestly.
That's so good. So Jodie, this is from Caroline, age 14 in Los Angeles. She wants to know who you played in Rock of Ages.
So I played Sherry, which was another dream role of mine. And when I got cast in it, I cried then as well.
Did you?
And I'm going to give a shout out to the Sunset Theatre Company in Los Angeles, who are producing their own version of Rock of Ages. But even more impressive, because obviously right now we can't go to theatres, they're going to be doing it on Zoom. And on Saturday, the 27th of June, they are putting it on Zoom for their family and friends to watch. So guys, smash it. I'll be thinking of you, and maybe I'll tune in. Who knows? Who knows?
Send her the link.
Yeah, send me the link. But yeah, Rock of Ages is another incredible dream show. Again, I couldn't believe I played that part, because I remember watching it on the West End, just thinking, like, this is so naughty and amazing.
I want to do it.
So I hope you're doing the juniors version.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is for Joel. It's from Izzy in London. How has the pandemic affected you as a YouTuber and actor? And do you miss acting? And do you have plans to go back to it?
It has affected me as a YouTuber. Sadly, advertisers have started pulling out of YouTube. So
I had heard
it's awful. At the start, I was like, this is great. I can grow my channel during the pandemic. Everyone's at home. You know, it doesn't affect me. And then advertisers start pulling out. So my earnings on YouTube have been like that. So financially, it's, you know, it's hit YouTubers as well as everyone else. But more people are watching. So it's been a really good opportunity to attract more people and try to keep them happy, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm doing anything that special on my channel. Like, as in, I've not really changed it up that much to be like, now I'm creating dough ball content, creating dough balls out of Greek yogurt. But yeah, with acting, I have pressed pause on acting about 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, to focus on YouTube. And I was like, I want to make YouTube my job, and then I'll go back into acting. And now I'm like, now's the time. So I'm sort of itching to get back to it.
Yeah. So
I'm sort of at the moment working on getting a showreel done, because my last showreel, I look very young and innocent, and I want to play. Yeah, I don't know. I will get back to acting, Izzy, hopefully at some stage. And yeah, I think this is all we have time for today. I mean, we've been going for a long old time, 42 minutes. Thank you guys for tuning in, and Jodie, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's been great. Having me. Guys, look out for Voicebites coming up in the future as well, because there's going to be more people like us, and there's going to also be snippet videos, so like 1 to 1.5 minutes of advice, tips and tricks that you can get for being a voiceover artist, to like how much water they drink, and to also how to mark up a script, or how to pick up accents, what it will be like the day you get into the booth. So anything that you're looking for, if you have no idea about the voiceover world and you're looking to get into it, then look out for Voicebites.
Definitely, we'll have to get you back on doing some more things if you can. Share your tips of your accents and voices.
I can't do voices.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Oh, yeah.